You've done topic videos like this before, but I still struggle about whether or not I should let gender remain the elephant in the room or if I should discuss it. My 15-year-old FTM still wants to medicalize ASAP, but we've said no till she's 18, and I'm hoping to drop some hints that 25 would be best. We haven't said we wouldn't use the preferred name and pronouns. We just kind of do verbal gymnastics to avoid it. Schools and friends use them. She's 2 years in and more invested than ever, but we have a great relationship that I don't want to jeopardize. Then again, I don't want to look back and wish I had done more. How do I overcome this paralysis? What is okay to say and what is going too far? Yikes. So it's very hard when you have one idea in mind for what's the best outcome, and all the other influences in your child's life have a very different idea in mind. So if she's at a school where everybody is affirming and everybody's using the new name and pronouns, you kind of have a couple of options. Either you work on mitigating those unhelpful influences, perhaps by changing schools or looking at, a different way for her to be educated, or having direct conversations which offer her a different way to understand and look at things. Those are your two options, because if you do nothing, then all the influences in her life are only going in one direction. So I think it's important, Mom asked, how do I overcome paralysis? Well, your paralysis is serving an important need. I don't want to accidentally dismiss it or demonize it. So I would ask myself, why am I paralyzed? What am I afraid of? Should I break this paralysis? And you would almost benefit from journaling about it maybe, or sitting down and just giving yourself some time to really think about this. Okay, why am I so scared to address it? What am I afraid might happen? And that will give you a lot of clues as to, why you feel so stuck right now. Are you afraid that your daughter will get into kind of a mental health spiral and harm herself? Are you afraid that your daughter will withdraw from you and really pull away? Are you afraid that your daughter will think you're mean or hate you? And what do we do with that? I mean, there's so many different things, and there's probably a combination of many, many things you're nervous about. But you're also saying to me, we have a great relationship. I don't want to jeopardize it. Your great relationship is the actual leverage you have to help her. You can help your daughter because you have a great relationship. So, sometimes when I'm on consults with parents, we think we're going to be talking about strategy and the kid and all the things going on in the kid's life. And sometimes it ends up really being about the parent. And a parent feeling really conflicted because I know what I want to do and I know what I want to try and say to help her, but there's something holding me back. And we often end up exploring, well, what is that thing holding you back? And sometimes it's, I grew up in a certain kind of way that, my parents never attended to my needs and they dismissed my feelings. And I just want my daughter to know that I will never do that to her. Or I didn't have a close relationship with my mom, so I just don't want to do anything that might make my daughter feel hurt by me. There's a lot of good reasons that people feel paralyzed. But this is actually the exact kind of calling of a parent when you are facing a really dire and important situation, which I would argue this can be. This is the time to examine your own story and your own fears and figure out, how do I lean in and parent this kid the way she needs, despite my fears, and trusting the process, trusting our love, and consistently coming back with love. Like in our book, we have a lot of sidebars by parents with dyscystic kids. And a common theme is we just didn't stop loving them. We never stopped expressing our love for them and our closeness for them. And even when there was conflict, even when my kid was mad at me, we just never stopped saying, we love you. We will always be here for you. We care about you. This is why we have concerns, etc. So I don't know if that's exactly what is going on with you, but I hope that is helpful. And I also think the action versus communication video will probably be helpful to you. So I've included that in the links. I would say hinting is one thing, but just lay it out on the line. Be clear and be direct in a way that is warm but honest. So if you're just hinting at things and crossing your fingers, I would say there are a few things that are important to be direct about. When we talk about planting seeds of doubt and pebbles in a barrel, those are little things about, how does somebody know what it might be like to be a man? It's kind of a fantasy, right? It's interesting. You put yourself in the idea of what it would be like to be a man in the world, but our best guess is just like what we fantasize about now. Like that's a seed, that's a little pebble in a barrel. But when it comes to setting clear boundaries and expectations, if you're paying for her college, like that is an important thing to consider with you and your spouse or whatever about how you're going to manage that. So there are certain things that need very clear communication and other things which are a little bit more flexible.